the people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders but really don't. Well, it's time for the Jimmy McKay Sports Show, and we're going to give you the most urgent sports news. Now it's time for the Jimmy McKay Sports Show. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready for the #1 sports show on the web. Here we go, my friends. How y'all doing this Tuesday evening? It's me, Jimmy the K. You see me each and every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Hope you're having a wonderful week. I'm going to try getting through this without losing my voice. What happened in the sports world since the last time that we saw each other? First off, Ken Griffey Jr., probably one of the greatest outfielders in all of baseball, one of the greatest baseball players to ever play for the Seattle Mariners. Ken Griffey Jr. was elected into the Hall of Fame. Here's a neat tidbit. He's actually the first #1 draft pick to be elected into the Hall of Fame. By far, one of my favorite players, not only to love, but to hate at the same time during his playing days. Some of his catches that he made were just phenomenal. So congratulations to Ken Griffey Jr. on his nod into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Clowney apparently allegedly left NRG Stadium after finding out his status was downgraded to out during the Houston versus Kansas City game. And his starting with the Texans is starting to look a little murky right now. Just a little murky at the fact that he could very well possibly not be a Texan just by that. Some indications were that it was a family emergency. He said that he'd leave and come back. The Houston Texans have reiterated that as well. But the question is, did he leave because he was downgraded, or did he leave because of a family emergency? If he left because of a family emergency, then, well, that's that. Can't do much about that, can we? All right, here's something graphic. I'm going to play a video of, we know the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. The day after that happened, Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Adam Pacman Jones ripped the referees. This is profanity laced. I do not condone or the language here. So if you have children in the room right now, you may want to turn down the volume. You may want to ask them to leave. But I am going to play this. It's actually, I do have a few words on this. But I'm actually going to play you the video of Pacman Jones bashing the referees. It's kind of ridiculous in a way, but it's not one for young ears. So if there are young ears around, you may want to ask them to leave the room. I am going to call a Panthers upset. I called it last week, even though it didn't happen. It was very close. The Carolina Panthers beat the Seattle Seahawks, which looked like a bloodbath there during the first half. The first half of the game, I thought it was going to be a bloodbath. It was 31-0 at the half, but Seattle and Pete Carroll's Seahawks nearly made a comeback. And by nearly making a comeback, they only lost by a touchdown, which is a very, very interesting in a way. Okay, the NFL has serious rules problems. Before long, we're going to be watching professional flag football. All these players whining about the hits, whining about, whatever the new stupid rule that the NFL comes out with. Why? These hits have been around since the beginning of the sport. I'm going to get more into that with a blog post that I recently posted just a couple of days ago. There's also a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger uh, being very kind to J.J. Watt, and I will play that one too right after this profanity-laced one. So uh, it won't be profanity-laced. It's very heartwarming. It's one of those things you do want the kids to listen to. Um, Here we go, and again, remember graphic language. Please ask the children to step aside or mute your volume if you cannot listen to this type of language.
All right, I'm good now. I've had my 10 minutes. But I still don't believe I should have got a flag for talking to a coach that's on the field behind her. That's my opinion. All right, I'm good now. I've had my 10 minutes. uh,
Not all that bad. Not all that bad. It did have a little bit of profanity in there, and I did want to let you, the viewer, know that it was profanity laced. Uh, Actually, that's the kinder video. There's another one that went around that the words, if you're not into foul language, your ears would bleed. Alrighty. The Pittsburgh Steelers, again, remember they won the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And by winning that game, they felt pretty good about themselves. However, the Steeler fans were whining about hits that Berfunk from the Bengals was making. You know, I'm not into this bullcorn of leading with the crown of your helmet. These guys are getting hurt, blah blah blah. Well, the truth of the matter is, again, like I said, what did they do many years ago when the sport started? They had hits worse than that, and people were practically dying. So all the Steelers fans out there who claim that their team would never throw junk onto the opposite or at the opposite team, no offense, but wasn't it the state of Pennsylvania sports teams that started that fiasco years ago? I think it might have been. Chris Davis finally agreed to a deal with the Orioles for a 7-year, $161 million deal, full no trade clause. There are some. I believe there's a club option on it though, but it is a full no trade clause. Yes, full no trade clause. And then yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Justin Upton signed a 6-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. So baseball is a month away, and the boys of summer are getting ready to come out, and it's going to get a little wild in here. For the AFC Championship game, you're going to be seeing the Denver Broncos playing the New England Patriots. In the NFC Championship game, you'll see the Panthers in the Cardinals. I'm still going to put Carolina on the upset alert, even though I don't think they'll be upset. truthfully, no matter how much I want it to happen uh, or don't want it to happen, I'm pretty well thinking that it's going to be New England and Carolina. Remember, I said that early on in the season. New England Patriots versus Carolina Panthers with Tom Brady coming out on top. No matter how much I love the Denver Broncos, I seriously do think that Tom Brady's going to make it to another Super Bowl, and he's going to wind up on the winning side of things. So, with the hits in the NFL, let me read you a little tidbit of what was going around on the blog the other day as I had time to ponder this. With the premise of the NFL playoffs and some of the hits made on some players who seem to always whine. This is the NFL. It is a man's sport. This is not a sport for a bunch of pansies. It is time that we, the fans, tell the NFL that we don't need no more stupid bull crap rules. Leading with the crown of your helmet? Really? They have been playing that way for how long? I'm sick of the rules like this, and in most cases, would tell players there are rules that are meant to be broken. I used this analogy with a friend of mine who thought the bingo hit was violent. I told him to run full speed into a wall, and right before you hit the wall, turn your momentum off. Can you do it? The answer to this is a resound no. So unless these guys are trying to kill each other, then let's stop with all the stupid rules you seem to come up with every off season. Give the players back the game, and if they don't like the way it is played, then they can just leave. I said this 1 week ago watching a Steelers Bengals game that with all these stupid new rules in the NFL, they are on a fast track to professional flag football. If Goodell keeps adding stupid new penalty rules, you can mark my words that in 10 years you will be watching flag football. Let them play and stop the whining. This is a man's sport, and if you don't have the balls to play, then step aside and let the real men play. So that's my 2 cents on the hits in the NFL, and stupid rules like that. Rules are rules sometimes, but sometimes they're meant to be broken. I promised you the video of Arnold Schwarzenegger telling J.J. Watt to get up. Here's his video right here.
Hey, JJ, you and the Texans are fantastic. Just remember one thing. You didn't lose today. I'll tell you why. Because losers stay down. And I know you and the Texans, you always get up. That's why you're winners, and you always will be winners. So get going again, get up, put some fire into this team, and march forward. Hasta la vista, baby.
That was a feel-good story there from the great Arnold Schwarzenegger to tell J.J. Watt, the Texan defensive player, to just get back up. You're going to come back. You're going to come back better next year. It's going to be a lot better next year than what it is this year. It happens every once in a while. So every once in a while, you just have to take the gloves off and just have a little bit of fun, don't you? How many of y'all have seen the video? It went viral over the weekend. Tony Stewart at a Tulsa Chili Bowl, a racing event there in Tulsa. He gets in a confrontation with a fan. Allegedly, that fan was an off-duty police officer. The two of them get into some altercation over something. They have a good time. It went viral. It's got probably about 27 million hits on YouTube. Pretty interesting. pretty interesting story there. Actually, pretty funny in a way. If you watch the video, it's pretty hilarious in a way. Seeing Tony Stewart getting in this guy's face and talking trash. All right, now on to a story that's probably going to take up the rest of the show. As Major League Baseball is investigating Major League pitcher Yu Darvish, the Texas Rangers Yu Darvish, that is. His brother was arrested for a gambling ring in Japan. I believe it was a year ago or so. And Yu Darvish is being investigated by Major League Baseball. The police department there over in Japan has said that they are not investigating Darvish. That investigation is done and over with. But Major League Baseball has decided to step in, make sure that there was no illegal gambling going on. You know, do I think Yu Darvish did it? Probably not. But, you know, his brother had a knack for gambling, so Major League Baseball has to do their due diligence and look into the story. This is all alleged. This is not that he did it or that he was going to do it. But what happened is Major League Baseball, especially with the Pete Rose thing, they're trying to be proactive instead of the other way around, which is a good thing. But Yu Darvish is allegedly being investigated by Major League Baseball for possibly being part of his brother's gambling ring. The police department over in Japan, again, is not investigating Darvish. They say the investigation's over with. He was not part of it. Major League Baseball is doing their due diligence, though, and looking into this. What's my 2 cents on this? You know, my 2 cents about cheating, period. This is my 2 cents, you know, when it comes to cheating. You know, there's a right way to play a sport and a wrong way to play the sport. I've watched players like Michael Young do it right for several years. I watched players like Barry Bonds do it wrong for years and know that they were doing it wrong for years. You know, do players that do it wrong deserve any recognition? No, they don't. Should we recognize them for their wrongdoing? No. What we should do, though, is get on the bandwagon of those players that are doing sports the right way. You look at the Michael Youngs, the J.J. Watts, the Kevin Durant's, Russell Westbrook's, Dirk Nowitzki's, the you know, you look at those players like that are playing the sport the right way, the way that it is meant to be played, without cheating, without doing it the wrong way. And those are the players that you want to look up to. However, when a player is said to have cheated or a player has been cheating and is brought forth, we should not look at them as a legit player. You know, it should be one of those deals where that player is just wrong in what they're doing. There's no need for cheating in sports, period. You know, there's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it. Now again, like I said at the beginning of the segment, I am not throwing Darvish under the bus because it has already been stated by the police department over in Japan that Yu Darvish did not do anything wrong, and Their investigation's over with. His brother's in jail for this gambling ring. Major League Baseball, however, is wanting to do due diligence, want to be proactive, and make sure that nothing did happen behind the scenes. But again, my 2 cents on cheating, it doesn't belong in sports. It never belongs in sports. If you're going to cheat in sports, you might as well just get out because you're a loser. That's plain and simple as that. If you can't play the sport right and you can't win right, then you might as well stamp loser on your forehead. It's just like if you're going to run a business or you're going to run a candy factory, you've got to do it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, you might as well stamp loser on the top of your head. Because the truth of the matter is, there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. I have never once, nor will ever condone cheating in sports. It's not something that should be done, nor will it be done, nor will I condone players that cheat in sports. Now, I hope each and every one of y'all had a happy Martin Luther King Day. Two of my favorite historians, and when it comes to breaking the racial barriers, are one, Martin Luther King, and two, Jackie Robinson. If you have not read the story of Jackie Robinson or seen the movie 42, excuse me, I would suggest you watch it. If your ears are not into hearing the N word laced throughout a movie, then I'd read the book. But the movie was made for a time back when Jackie Robinson would have been called the derogatory word that nobody should ever use, nor ever should in their lifetime use. The story of Branch Rickey. If you've not know or read the story of Branch Rickey, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, who pushed and pushed and pushed for Jackie Robinson to be that first player of color on a Major League Baseball team, to break that barrier, then I suggest you read up on Branch Rickey. Great historian himself. Wee Reese. Wee Reese is another great name. Wee Reese. Wee Reese. If I don't want to ruin the movie for you. So if you're watching and haven't seen it, then you might want to tune out or turn the volume down. Wee Reese was a Caucasian player at the time that this happened with Jackie Robinson, that embraced having Jackie Robinson on the team. There were some players that wanted a petition to be signed that Jackie Robinson not be on the team, that he be traded, that he go back to the Negro League. However, Wee Reese stood by him and continued to stand by him until the day that both of them died. Four great historians in Major League Baseball, or three, that is, along with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King being one of my favorite historians, along with Jackie Robinson, who helped break the racial barriers in Major League Baseball. Great story. If you've never read the book 42, I'd ask you to pick up the book, look at it, read it before you see the movie. The movie and the book are totally different. There are differences in the book and the movie. read up on Branch Rickey, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Great owner. If you go back, I'll tell you a tad bit before the show ends about Branch Rickey. Branch Rickey was one of those owners that took his Sundays off. You know, spent time on Sundays with his family, even when there was a game. Tried not doing business on Sunday. Back then, the blue laws hadn't come into effect, but back then there was a lot of he just didn't work on Sunday. However, the truth of the matter is, Branch Rickey was a very religious person. What religion he was, we really don't know. However, if a player were to have come to him and asked for a Sunday off, would if he granted that Sunday off? The truth of the matter is, we don't know. Uh, we really don't know if Branch Rickey would have given him the day off. But Branch Rickey was one of those owners that was a very faithful man, a person that really wanted Sundays to be about what Sundays were meant to be about. And then Wee Reese, the Caucasian that embraced the fact that Jackie Robinson was going to be there on the team. They were going to be working together, shortstop and second base. If you're ever in Oklahoma, you can go to the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. I want you to look up a name of somebody, a major league player that I know myself. His name is Lindy McDaniel. Lindy McDaniel graduated from the University of Oklahoma. Played for the New York Yankees, the St. Louis Cardinals, teams like that. Him and his brother, I believe, played together. Vaughn and Lindy played together for the St. Louis Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. If you Google his name, Lindy McDaniel, or go to pitchingforthemaster.com, I believe is his website. He hasn't done a blog post in a while, but pitchingforthemaster.com or Google Lindy McDaniel. Great Major League Baseball player in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. Played for the New York Yankees, the St. Louis Cardinals, a couple other teams as well. I've had the privilege to interview him. However, until I feel this interview is show worthy, I'm not going to present it to you. But that is one of the big things coming up is the fact that being able to interview Lindy McDaniel and his time in Major League Baseball. How does one of faith, not that we're trying to be a show about God or anything like that, but how does a man of faith, Lindy McDaniel, pitch on Sundays or play baseball on Sundays when there's other things that he should be doing or must be doing? The reaction to that and the answers to that can be found, believe it or not, on his website, pitchingforthemaster.com. And we're going to get more into depth about his brother, what it was like playing with your brother on the same team in St. Louis, and stuff like that. So I look forward to that interview. I look forward to being able to present to that interview to you, whether it be in a blog post on the website or on a show, which could be both more than likely. I look forward to that. And I look forward to a couple of other interviews that I've got coming up. So Be looking for those on the website or listen to the show each and every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'm your host, Jimmy the K. Remember, there are ways that you can get in touch with me. Very simple ways. You can like my Facebook page at facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. You can follow us on Twitter at JimmyKersey1. You can email us at allaboutsportszone@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is ever changing here in about a month, to www.screamerproduction.wix.com/allaboutsportszone, and then go to the fan gallery, follow the link down that says contact or contact us, click on that, and then ask your sports questions there. Those are the ways you can get in contact with me or message me. Until next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, I am your host, Jimmy the K. Until next week, peace out.